we decided to combine and invite other guests as well on today's event. In the first part of the presentation, we will be two neo participants. I will, as a coordinator, will talk about the ICM, aka International Credit Mobility, and what is that opportunity and how participants can participate in it actually. And on the next stage, Georgi Mjadlidze, who is the project manager at NEO, will talk about the on the next stage, we will talk about the Erasmus Mundus, in which we will invite the former participants, Soso Chachanidze, who participated in Erasmus Mundus recently and successfully completed and got the academic degree. So this will be the very first-hand experience for interested applicants. How to participate in Erasmus Mundus joint master's program, what is the actual reality out there, what are the documentations, procedures, and what actual real life looks like there, and what to expect eventually from that program. And in a third part of our meeting, Georgi Mjadlidze, the project manager at NEO, will be talking about the youth opportunities. Georgi himself was a participant of Erasmus youth exchange programs several times, and he will also be talking about on the one hand, the technical general requirements, what is necessary to participate in that programs, and on the other hand, he also will be sharing his own personal experience, how this procedure works. And in the last part of the meeting, we will take the questions and we will address your questions, whatever you have in relation with the Erasmus Plus mobility programs, right? And let me share with you the presentation. Very well. You can see the presentation, right? Is it visible? Very good. Initially, let's emphasize one thing, that Erasmus is not just a small opportunity which you can use during your lifetime. It actually shapes your future, right? It gives you an opportunity as a student and as a young participant of the program to participate in mobility programs, to go abroad, to experience the international vibe and international experiences, get to know other peoples from different cultural backgrounds, from different political backgrounds. It's an amazing tool for young generation to be in touch with the people with different background. It's sort of a diplomatic program, so to speak, because it teaches you on the one hand how to deal with people with different cultural backgrounds and how come to understanding how to understand one another. And on the other hand, this is an amazing, very high quality educational programs which also gives you on a personal level a very big plus in your career to succeed in your professional life, right? Erasmus Plus does not only, like I mentioned, does not only promote the education, but it's a soft tool to promote the diplomacy between the countries. The main goal of the Erasmus Plus program, of course, it is to give young generation an opportunity to explore the different things that is out there, to help them to understand each other. But the main goal which lies behind the Erasmus Plus program is actually to bring these different cultures, different representatives of various countries to get to know each other, to live in a more peaceful peaceful environment on a larger scale, on an international level. This is on this is that should be kept in mind when you participate in Erasmus Plus programs. And I also want to mention and clarify one thing, that Erasmus Plus program in terms of individual mobilities is not only about the higher education. Erasmus Plus is represented in 6 sectors, which is given there: higher education, youth, vocational education and trainings, in adult education as well, in school sector and in sport. Uh, Representatives of those institutions can very well participate in various sorts of exchange programs. But today we will mainly be talking about the higher education mobility programs, which is international credit mobility and Erasmus Mundus Joint Masters, and we'll also be talking about the youth mobility programs. Statistically speaking, I want to emphasize that those 2 sectors are one of the most successful in Georgia. Since 2014, almost 20,000 young people participated in youth exchange programs. On a short-term basis, they were able to go in the various European countries, and not only European countries, and to work as a volunteers, to experience the different cultures and so on and so forth. And in terms of higher education, in terms of credit mobility and Erasmus Mundus Joint Masters, we also got up to I would say more than 15,000 participants from Georgia who actually went in the European Union, in other associated countries, and they got credits there, and they got that international experience, so to speak. Like I said, I also would like to mention that since 2014, there were 200 participants and successful participants who participated in Erasmus Masters joint programs. And this year we got quite high number, 50 people were chosen from Georgia in order to participate in that joint Masters program. Here is a statistical picture. It's a good thing to see visually. What is the tendency here? Tendency from 2015 is that the participants number is increasing gradually, and in 2022 and 2023, in the recent years in which we have data, was the biggest number given for Erasmus Mundus exchange program participants, not on Mundus mobility program participants. So this tendency is increasing, which means that the awareness about the Erasmus Plus mobility programs is increasing. And on the other hand, which is also important, participants, you, gain enough knowledge how to participate, how to create competitive applications in order to win that competitions, because these mobility programs are competition based at the end of the day. It means that the best candidates, the most motivated ones, the ones who have bright future, very good motivation, a vision how to develop themselves and society around them, will get more opportunity to participate in it. It is not this mobility programs, and this opportunity is not given just like anyone. You should prove that you are a good candidate to participate in it. You are motivated, and you actually have a vision for yourself, for your career development, and for the development of the society around you. That's what Erasmus Plus is looking for, because it should not be based on success of individuals, right? It should be, it is about improving the society, educational society, to improve the economic performance of our countries, and to improve the diplomatic relationship with our partners, right? It's the so to speak, hidden goal of the Erasmus Plus program. That's something to keep in mind when you are building up your application, that you need to be positively ambitious in order to win those competition programs. I'm not gonna talk about the budget distribution. That is not your worry very much. But like I mentioned, I would like to emphasize the procedure for international credit mobilities. What is international credit mobility? International credit mobility is a mobility program on a higher education level in which students have an opportunity to spend either one semester or one academic year in a partner country throughout the Europe. It means that in order to participate in that credit mobility, you have to fulfill the certain requirements. First, you need to be enrolled in higher education institution in Georgia. We are talking about the Georgia, right? We are in Georgia. That's why I'm mentioning this. You need to be involved in higher education institution in Georgia, which is accredited by the national authority, which means it is accredited and recognized by Ministry of Education and Quality Assurance Center in Georgia. Pretty much these days, I don't think there are higher education institutions that are operating without the authorization and without accreditation. But that's something formally you should keep in mind. You have to be enrolled in accredited higher education institution in Georgia, and those programs become decentralized. What does it mean? It means that each institution, each higher education university is free to establish the partnership with any higher education institution in the European Union or in the associated countries in which they feel comfortable or they have partnerships. That means that different universities have partnerships with different universities in European Union, which means, for example, Ivana Jauhishvili State University has partnerships with certain institutions with whom they've been in touch or they managed to establish the partnerships. For example, the Ilia Uni, for example, has different sort of partnership based on their negotiations and how they managed to establish that partnerships with the participants from the European Union and the program countries. That means that, for example, some universities have more partnerships in certain countries, and other universities have certain partnerships in a different region, and so on. It means that mobility programs and opportunities varies from university to university. That means that in order to participate in that program, your university needs to have collaboration agreements with various higher education institutions in an European level, but it's not your headache. What is your headache, and what you should keep in mind is that higher education institutions, universities in Georgia, are responsible to manage and organize that exchange programs. What that means for you? That means that higher education institutions announce that competitions and vacant free positions before the semester starts. Generally, it happens 2-3 months before the academic semester starts, and that they announce this competition, and they are obliged to make that announcement inclusive, which means that they are making that announcement either on their web page, their social media. They are spreading that information through emails. I don't know if that is not the case, or accidentally you did not manage to get that information from your home university. Let's call them home university in which you are enrolled. You did not get that information before several months before the semester starts, and you happen to miss that information somehow. You are not using social media, etc. What you can do one thing. You can go to the International Integration Center of your institution, or you can go. Some universities have very oriented Erasmus Plus offices, Or if you don't know where this Erasmus office is located in your home university, or you don't know where to find specifically that international integration center in your home university, what you can do is to go in the administration and ask, hey, I am a motivated student here. I want to participate in the exchange program, international credit mobility. I want to get more information. Where can I go? Can you give me the contact details? So they will direct you to the right person, which is responsible to manage that mobility programs in your home country, home institution, and they will provide you information about the upcoming competitions. What should you expect in that competitions? You should expect several things. Universities are free. Erasmus Plus program gives universities finances to manage that programs, but we as Erasmus Plus program do not involve in the organizational details. It means that universities are free to organize that exchange programs in their own terms, which means that with their partner in the European Union in the program countries can agree on certain documentations which they will request on a later stage during the competition. That means, generally speaking, there are several documentation or several proof that you need to represent in order to demonstrate that you're a good candidate. One of the proof that you're a good candidate is the script. Script is the recording of your scores of your subjects that you've already taken in your home university. One important detail I also want to mention is that during the first year of your academic studies, you cannot participate in Erasmus Plus program because you need to gather some sort of experience in your home university. You have to get this course in various subjects in order to demonstrate that you're capable of studying, capable of passing the exams, and so on and so forth. So first year you should finish in your home university, and from the second year you can already participate in those competitions. So I was talking about the documents which you need to have in hand if you want to participate in those exchange programs. One is the script of the scores of the subjects which you've already taken in your home university. Sometimes they require the motivation letter, or if they do not require motivation letter, they may schedule an interview for you in order to hear about your motivation, in order to evaluate your English language skills, your communication skills, or understand whether you are capable of functioning in an international environment or not. Sometimes some universities require English language certificates from TOEFL or IELTS and so on and so forth. But some universities just take the scores of English as a subject from their institution, which means that if you scored high in English language in your home university, universities may take this as a proof, as a valid proof that you know English well. But like I mentioned, universities are free to decide what sort of documentations they will be requiring during the competition process. It could be certificate, it could be the score which you got in English at your home university. It varies. That question you should ask to your home university, to someone who is responsible to organize the exchange programs. And when you go, if you're chosen and if you are a successful candidate, and if the university evaluates you as a good participant of the Erasmus Plus program, then you get an opportunity to go abroad. Before you go abroad, you sign the agreement letter. In that agreement letter, there is mentioned the subjects you will be going through in your host university in the European Union or the program countries. There will be several, like 5 or 10 subjects, because you are allowed to stay there one semester or one academic year. So there will be mentioned the subjects you will be taking there, and you have to agree that you are okay with that, that you will get and you will take that subject there. And after you get enrolled in your host university and you successfully pass those subjects, your home university in Georgia will recognize those credits. That means that you do not know, you do not need to take those subjects twice in Georgia. Georgian university, your home university, will recognize the subjects you took in host university in European Union, in any country or in the program country. And those Erasmus Plus mobility programs, ICM, International Credit Mobility, is it's free, which means that the tuition is covered, and you are given the stipend, a certain amount of money, which you can use to cover the cost for shelter, to cover the cost of daily costs, like what is necessary for food, and daily expenses, what you might have there. The stipend is generally enough. It's not a huge amount of money. You cannot live with a luxurious and lavish lifestyle there, but it's enough for a student to cover the cost that is associated to live there and to eat proper food and stay healthy and everything. It's absolutely enough to live a normal lifestyle. And you're also reimbursed for the traveling costs, which means that the airplane ticket cost is also reimbursed, and also insurance is also reimbursed. But if you win that project, you will be technically responsible after winning the competition before you go to the host institution in the European Union or in the program country. You will be responsible to take care of visa procedures, and you have to do it as early as possible, as soon as you learn from your home institution. You will get the invitation letter from the host institution. You should start preparing for the visa procedures, and you should go to the embassy or local representative in Georgia to get that visa, whether it's for, I don't know, sometimes it's 4 months, it's more than 3 months. One semester sometimes continues more than 4 months, technically speaking. So you need a valid visa to stay within framework of the legal requirements in a certain country in the European Union. So you need the visa procedures, and you are responsible for that. I want you to write down the questions that you probably have with international credit mobility, and after we will sum up the session in like 40 minutes or so, you will be able to ask those questions, and we will individually answer to any concern you might have. And I'll be stop sharing the presentation. This is the general information that could be given for international credit mobility. And now I'd like to invite Soso, who was participant of the Erasmus Plus mobility program, and he will be talking about his personal experience. So hello, thank you very much for taking time and for being willing to share your experience. That's a first-hand experience, and I want you to keep in mind that some people might have never heard of Erasmus Plus, Erasmus Mundus mobility programs. So you need to clarify what that means from the very basic to the technical details. Now the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me well?
We can hear you, yes.
Okay. First of all, thank you for your interest in these programs and in this matter, and thanks for having me here, and thanks for the opportunity to share my knowledge and experience with these people. So like it was mentioned earlier, I am right now in the process of graduating, basically from awaiting my thesis final defense from the Erasmus Mundus Joint Master in Central and East European, Russian and Eurasian Studies. That's the name of my master. It's more known for its abbreviation IMCRS. Let's start with what are Erasmus Mundus Joint Masters. So these are basically master's degree programs which are made in collaboration between different universities in the EU, Erasmus program countries and the partner countries in and outside of the EU. For example, in the case of my program, as it covers pretty vast geographical area and includes, for example, regions like Southern Caucasus and countries like Georgia more specifically, or even, for example, Central Asia. My program has partners in Kazakhstan, for example, also in Georgia, for example. Ilia State University is one of the partners of the program, and some of my classmates have spent their second year of their studies in Ilia State University in Tbilisi. So yeah, it's basically a program made in collaboration of different universities in the EU. Of course, all these master's programs, like normal master's programs, let's say, are thematic, such as mine is more, let's say, regional focused. There is another one, let's say, more focused on European politics and society, more on EU level, European culture, and so on. Of course, there are many more which are less related to, let's say, political studies or international relations, and the range of topics that these master's degrees cover is really, really big. It starts from physics and goes to European studies and so on. Yeah, so and the idea of these programs is that the students of the program get the experience of studying and living in different states. Most of the participant states, of course, are the EU or European states, more broadly speaking, but there are some programs which have partners outside of Europe as well. Like I mentioned, for example, I mentioned Kazakhstan. I know for a fact that Euroculture Master that I mentioned, for example, has partners in Japan, in the United States, and so on. So it really depends on the program, and then even within the program, it gives you an opportunity to choose your own path and pursue your own personal interests, and based on that, go to the partner university that fits best your interests. And yes, all the programs have the idea that they must be the study, which is normally at 2 years of master's degree. It should consist of at least 2 mobilities. So you should study in at least 2 partner universities. Occasionally, it's, for example, in case of my program, it's 3. And in the case of my program, for example, we start in the University of Tartu in Estonia. That's where we spend the first semester. The second semester we spend in the University of Glasgow, because Glasgow Uni is the coordinator of the whole program. And the third year, depending on our research interests and on our thesis topic, we spend in one of the partner universities, which could be, in my case, it was Jagiellonian University in Krakow, or it can be University of Sarajevo in Bosnia and Herzegovina. Like I mentioned, Ilia State University, KIMEP University in Kazakhstan, or Corvinus University in Budapest. And yes, so this is probably the main idea, that the students should be able to get the experience of studying and living in at least two of the partner universities of the program, and of course to deepen their expertise. For example, in the case of my studies, when you're interested in, let's say, the region of Southern Caucasus, of course it is a great advantage to be able to get the first-hand experience of living in Tbilisi, studying in Tbilisi, and it of course gives great insights and gives a great, let's say, boost of becoming an expert. Now, speaking of, I just want to mention really quickly that you can see the list of all the programs that is financed by the European Commission for this Erasmus Plus joint master degrees very easily. You can just Google Erasmus Mundus Joint Master Degrees, or EMJD, JMD, sorry, catalog. So if you just Google Erasmus Mundus Joint Master Degrees catalog, you will be able to see all the degrees that's financed by the Commission, and where you can apply as a Georgian citizen, as a student from Georgia, and be able to acquire scholarship for your studies, tuition fees, and as well as monthly stipend for covering your living expenses and so on. So yeah, of course, it is a great opportunity overall to be able to live in different European countries and potentially even beyond, and be supported in your studies financially and of course technically as well, and get a joint degree. That's of course one of the biggest advantages probably of these degrees, that at the end of your studies you get joint degrees from all the universities that you have participated in, and of course basically with one master's degree in the normal duration of master's degrees in 2 years, you get diplomas degrees from several, at least 2 universities. And in the case of my program, again, it will be, for example, 3 universities. So yes, being a Georgian student in this case is not a disadvantage, let's say, and the scholarships are always distributed between Erasmus program country and partner country students. In our case, you might know that Georgia is a partner country, and there are always dedicated number of scholarships for, of course, not for Georgian students only. You of course need to prove your quality, let's say, the quality of your application. But yes, there are always dedicated number of scholarships for partner country students as well. And now let's talk about the procedure of applying. Probably you are all interested in this. The procedure is, I would say, pretty similar to all the other procedures that you go through for applying to any master's degree. And this consists, of course, of within the application period, submitting your CV, your motivation letter, your degree, diploma, or the proof that you are finishing your degree in the given year. For example, in my case, I started my master's degree straight after I graduated from my bachelor's degree, and I submitted the proof that I was expected to graduate the summer prior to starting my degree. And of course, you also need to submit the transcript of records, and yes, motivation letter, of course. The length of this letter normally varies somewhere between. Normally, it's either 400 or 600, or in the case of my degree, it was a bit longer. But normally, it's in most of the cases, it's around 600 words. And you need to submit reference letters as well. It's normally specified who and what they prioritize, but it always consists of at least one academic reference and one professional, or it could be directly indicated within the application that they prefer to have, for example, two academic references. And so those details are normally indicated. So that's a good part, of course. And apart from that, you need to I think in all the cases, you need to have a language certificate in English, of course, because the program is in English, obviously. It can be either IELTS or TOEFL, and they require, I think, B2 level at least, or it might be B1 or B1 plus, let's say, as well. I'm not exactly sure. But yes, in most of the cases, they do require language certificate. But the good part of this is that you can first submit your application and get the response on your application, and then go to the exam for the certificate, so that you don't, let's say, pay in advance, and in case you are not accepted to the program, you will not have to, let's say, go to the exam for nothing. Of course, it will not be for nothing, but still. Yes, so this is the application process. Depending on the degrees, it could be that at the next stage of your application, they ask you for an interview with the consortium sort of committee. That wasn't the case for my program personally, but I know that some programs do require an interview stage where, as it was earlier mentioned as well, with the mobility programs, of course, they're interested in your motivation. How exactly will you use this knowledge or these skills that you acquire? What do you expect from the degree, and how realistic your expectations and ambitions are, and so on? Of course, these you also have to indicate in your motivation letter as well. And yeah, this is basically the process. Like I said, pretty similar to the process of all the other applications for master's degrees. And yes, for when it comes to the let's say bureaucratic procedures after you get accepted, you get, like I mentioned already, a monthly stipend of 1,000 euros to cover all of your expenses basically. This includes also travel, visa procedures, and so on. And you have to take care of all that, of course. However, naturally, the program and the coordinators and administrators, of course, help you with providing with the proof of insurance and the proof of acceptance to this degree, and so on. But you have to take care of, let's say, getting an appointment at the embassy for visa, buying your own tickets for traveling, and so on. And of course, we have to be, let's say, realistic and admit that these bureaucratic procedures do take time and energy and effort. And the problem with it, let's say, is that within the program, while you are undertaking your studies already, you have to get the visa or get the accommodation for your next destination, and so on. And of course, it's a bit harder in many cases, to get an accommodation for one semester. However, yeah, those in the end, of course, those are manageable, I think, and I would also say that it's worth making this effort for what you get in exchange. And yeah, from my experience, probably the best part of undertaking these degrees is that you get a great experience, and I believe also that is the whole idea of having Erasmus joint master degrees, that you get the experience of studying at different universities who have, of course, their own approaches and different styles of teaching and different requirements. You work with different professors who will have their own insights and their own, let's say, sphere of expertise. And of course, you meet many different cultures. You live in different countries, but apart from that, of course, as the degree is very international, like in the case of my degree, and that's the case with basically every degree. We had students all around the world, basically, starting from Australia to the United States. And of course, within the program, your classmates being so from all around the world, basically, you get great experience of living in intercultural environment and working in intercultural environment. And apart from that, of course, all the different students you meet during your studies in all the partner universities, they make really great friends and great contacts, and it's a great networking opportunity as well, to meet all these professors and all these different students with different backgrounds and different experiences and different contacts and so on. And yeah, I really appreciate the fact that apart from the the knowledge and the academic part of the degree, you also get all these, let's say, extra benefits of meeting all these people, getting to know with all the different educational systems, getting to know all the countries and so on. So I would say, yeah, it's really interesting. Of course, there is a downside for it as well. We have to be realistic and have to, let's say, manage our expectations. And of course, it's a great challenge for the universities, partner universities, to coordinate with each other in a way that they are, of course, different universities in different countries, and they all have different teaching styles, requirements, and so on. And that can be, of course, challenging and problematic. And of course, the partner universities are always aware of this fact. And try to, let's say, mitigate this, but of course it can never be fully addressed. However, yeah, I would still say, like I mentioned, that there are many other benefits to these degrees that in many cases I would say overweigh the problems and the struggles with the academic part, or with the again searching for accommodation, or applying for visas and so on. Yeah, and what else can be said? Of course, the degrees, they all have their own requirements for graduation. Normally, in many cases, you end up with having the last semester for dedicated to writing your thesis, you're doing your research, and you have supervisors from different universities. In my case, for example, we have supervisors from two different universities, and they all offer their own perspectives. And there again, of course, it can be relatively harder to manage. To let's say, yeah, to manage the recommendations and the comments and requirements from different universities and different supervisors. But again, I think it's a great practical experience that this brings by, let's say, working with different people with different ideas and so on. And yeah, I think in the end I would just say that on the website of the National Erasmus Plus office, you can also, there is a section dedicated to joint master's degrees, where you can, of course, research more about it and find out more details about what they are, what's the idea of these degrees and so on, and how you can apply and so on. And of course, if there are any questions, some details that I might have missed out or you might be interested in, of course, I would be very happy to answer either now or I think it's, I don't know if there's dedicated time slots at the end of the presentation.
Yes, there is a dedicated time for the question and answer session. But before that, I would like to emphasize several details with regard to Erasmus Plus program, Erasmus Mundus program. Sorry. Thanks a lot for your time. And I also would like to mention that there are deadlines, technically speaking, to which you should pay attention. Deadlines could be either October or January. It depends when the academic study starts. If, for example, the academic study starts from spring semester, then the deadline probably will be October each year. And if the academic studies start in September, there is a high probability that the deadline for that particular problem will be in January each year. So that means that during that deadline, you have to have all the documentations, whatever you need to submit to that competition and to that application. And that means that you should not be waiting for to October or January to submit your applications. One thing what you should do is to search the catalog, which is sent over the via the chat. In the chat section, you can see the catalog for the Erasmus Mundus Joint Masters Program. And this year, as I remember correctly, there are 20 more Erasmus Mundus Joint Masters programs added. So there are more than 200 Erasmus Mundus Joint Masters Program in the catalog. So I strongly believe that you find something interesting for you there. But that's one thing. What you should do is to search the catalog, find the proper educational program for yourself, take a look to that educational program, see what are the requirements, and don't wait for the October particularly. Start taking care of the documentations well advanced before October or January. Let's say if you're planning to take the certificate for English language, you should do it much earlier than October. In an ideal case, you can do it in October if you like to work in an urgent situation, but you should take care of such kind of things: motivation letter, recommendation letters. You need the diploma and the script of your course from universities written out in English language. If it's given only in Georgian, you need to translate and notarize those documents. So you have to take care of that things that might take time far before the deadlines. Like I mentioned, deadlines could be either October or in January, and that deadline differs from program to program. So that was something I wanted to edit technically speaking to that information. And like Soso also mentioned, you will have time to ask these practical related questions to him directly. How did he manage that procedures, and what can be the best solutions in order to create the competitive application. And now we will move on to the youth part, and I will give the floor to Georgi, who will talk about more about the youth opportunities.
All right. Thank you for previous speaker for such a comprehensive and informative presentations about academic formal opportunities from the Erasmus Plus. Now let's move on to the more informal opportunities from the Erasmus, such as Erasmus youth exchanges and training courses. So let me share my presentation first.
I can share it if you want to.
So can you see my presentation?
Yeah, it's visible.
So let's talk about Erasmus Plus youth programs. In my presentation, I will try to briefly introduce three main opportunities within this Erasmus youth that are mainly popular and available for Georgian participants. So those are, first of all, youth exchanges, training mobility projects for youth workers, and the last one is the volunteering European Solidarity Corps opportunities. So first of all, in broadly talking about Erasmus Plus youth projects and opportunities, we could say that this is one of the part of the key actions of Erasmus Plus, and is dedicated mainly for the youth field to provide non-formal and informal learning opportunities for young people, and not only for young people but also the youth workers. And this mainly aims to promote being active citizen, being actively encouraged, fostered, and facilitated by young people to participate in young activism and democratic being young active citizen overall. And this is not only for the local or regional level, but mainly is dedicated for international level. And the main aim of the programs are also to promote the internationalization. So in this term, we could say that there are main activities such as seminars, training courses, networking events, study visits, and those can be also abroad. So let's talk about first of all the Erasmus Plus Youth Exchange projects. This opportunity are for young people from 13 to 30 years old. So this is very important to keep in mind when you talk about the youth exchange project. That this is strictly strict age limit from 13 to 30 years old. And any people from participant countries can take part in this project, which might last up to 21 days. This project may include various the series of activities and projects on various topics. There is no limited topics. You could find projects about democracy, about environment, and many much more opportunities that you might be interested in. Also, we should consider that every youth exchange projects have young group leaders, which does not have age limit, but it starts from the 18. So if you find out the project, youth exchange project, and you are more than 30 years old, even more than 30 years old, you can be group leader for this project. As I already mentioned, the main activities might include workshops, exercises, debates, games, role plays, outdoor activities, and much more. From my perspective of view and from my personal experience, I would say that youth exchange projects are more oriented to exchange the cultural experiences and in general to understand more of different cultural backgrounds from the participant countries. And the participant countries for projects can vary also, and the number of participants can vary, but be prepared that you will meet lots of international young people from different countries. So this is a unique opportunity for you to discover the different cultures. So what are the steps to take part in the youth exchange projects? First of all, we need to find the project ourselves. And now I will try to share you the Salto website where you can somehow find the list of possible sending organizations from Georgia. So this is the website that I will also attach the link in the end of the presentation, and I'd like to later share it to you. So this is the link. As you have seen, there are more than 200 organizations from Georgia that cooperate in youth exchange projects. So you can find the various list of organizations, and just keep in mind that this website gives you just general knowledge of organizations who might participate of the youth exchange. But after that, you just have to try yourself to reach out to them and ask for if they have any active call for the project. Let's go back to the slides. So once you find the project that you are interested in, then you have to register. In most of the cases, they ask to answer a few questions. It might be your motivation letter and so on. And on the next stage, some of the organizations might have the interview stage, so we prepare that if you might be asked for the interview. And once you're selected from the sending organization, then just prepare for your trip. And the good thing in this case is that the youth exchange projects last up to 21 days, so you might not need to have a visa if you are Georgian resident. So you can go participate in the project without requiring the visa. And of course, you will need to have travel insurance and some other documents. In this case, the sending organization will help you to prepare your upcoming departure to the project venue. And the next opportunity within Erasmus Plus Youth is training courses, which is dedicated for the youth workers who are working on the youth field and are having an active status. The training courses mainly focuses on professional development of youth workers, especially when they participate in workshops, trainings, courses, and study visits, as well as there might be work observation periods in the youth field abroad. So for these projects, the good thing is that there's no age limit. You just have to be at least 18 years old, and then it does not have upper limit to take part. And the main thing is that you should be actively working already in organization and have some kind of work background. On the other hand, so you should consider that the training courses, as I already mentioned, similarly to the youth exchange, can be organized on any possible topic. It's very interesting to see every people from every profession, every sphere can find themselves in one of the projects. And also what is important to consider is that you should be able to demonstrate that you are kind of fluently in English, that you can, because the training courses are quite intense. You need to be actively engaged in all the seminars, all the discussions. Therefore, as it includes in people from various countries, you need to be speaking English quite well. So, in this matter, the language is quite important, but I would emphasize in terms of youth exchange that I talked about before, the language, the requirement is not that strict. And from my personal experiences, I would say that there are always some participants that barely can speak fluent English. And for the mobility projects for youth workers, you need to be actively working on youth field. You need to have active status and have some professional background as well, because as I already said, these training courses are mainly for personal and professional development. Therefore, when you participate in this project, you should expect that you will increase, you will develop your skills, professional skills, and you should be ready to share your experiences as well. So, and the procedure for the participation in these training courses are almost similar. You need to have a sending organization, and similarly, as I already showed you on Salto Youth Portal, you can find hundreds of organizations that might have some projects, and similarly, you need to register and wait for the final results from the standing organizations. And the third opportunity within the Erasmus Plus Youth, which is one of the most popular, I would say, in Georgia, is European Solidarity Corps volunteering project. And I myself was also part of this program. I spent 1 year in Poland to be European Solidarity Corps volunteer. And basically, before moving to European Solidarity Corps, I want to shortly highlight the difference between the Erasmus Plus Youth Exchange and the Erasmus training courses, because the main difference is that Erasmus Plus Youth Exchange, as I mentioned, is mainly focused on cultural exchange, while the training course is mainly to develop your skills. So you should expect that when you take part in youth exchange, you will have more time to socialize, more time to relax. But in terms of training courses, be sure that all day you will have intensive training, seminars, discussions, and lots of things. So it takes much more time, much more energy as well. And going back to the European Solidarity Corps, this is the program also funded from the European Union, which is a volunteering program. But when we talk about volunteering, we we should highlight that you don't work for free, and it does not mean being volunteer you basically don't get anything. So, and later I will also talk about the financial things, financial aspect of these programs. This program aims to promote mainly the solidarity as a value, mainly through volunteering, to enhance the engagement of young people and organizations in accessible and high-quality solidarity activities as a means of to contribute to strengthen cohesion, solidarity, democracy, and citizenship in Europe. Within this program, you should expect that you will work in a host organization that might be community organization, that might be educational institution, or even some cultural center or so on. And this program is dedicated for the long-term perspective participation, as it must be at least 2 months, from 2 months to 12 months. So, and it is also divided into like short-term and long-term European solidarity projects. This project is for young people from 18 to 30 years old, and the main requirement is to be motivated and to be willing to engage voluntarily in various solidarity work for I don't know. In my case, it was 1 year, for example. And for this, I will also share you the European Solidarity Corps portal, where you can register yourself and find the relevant and the most interesting project for you. So, this is European Solidarity Corps platform, and I will also attach the link in the presentation that you will have access later. I will just show you how to find the project yourself. So, in my case, I already have registered my account, so I'll just show you. But the registration is quite easy. Okay, so here is my profile. And when you register, you need to indicate your personal information, your motivation, your interests, your hobbies. Lots of questions that might help you easily to find the project, or the project might find you. For example, I have received lots of requests on my profile to take part. And here is opportunities. And here we have the map that we can find our projects by country, and then we can see the themes. For example, I don't know, let's find somewhere. Here you will see the Argent Volunteer Project in a nursing home for elderly people. So then after finding the project, you should also consider that not every project is dedicated for everyone. So you should see that they have included Georgia as a participant country. And once you find the project, you can contact the organization. We call them host organization. So once you get accepted from the host organization, then you will also need to have sending organization from Georgia. And finding sending organization from Georgia for their European Solidarity Corps project is not difficult as well. You just have to contact some of the sending organizations and ask to be the sending organization, because they also get some kind of, for them it's also beneficial to be sending organization. Or also, in the same way as I already showed you, you can just go through this website of Salto and find organizations and check their websites or check their Facebooks, and they might already have some projects, European Solidarity projects that you might be interested in. Okay, let's go back to the presentation. And the main activities within this project might be volunteering, as I already said, some kind of internships, jobs, and solidarity projects. Yes, the steps that I already showed you is to find out the project yourself and then to apply. And in this, the difference between the European Solidarity Corps project and the others that I already talked is that as it lasts longer, you might need to prepare the visa documentations. So consider that you will need some time in preparation in advance. And as regarding the finances, as the projects are financed by the European Commission, we expected that all the necessary expenses will be paid from them as well. So even for the youth exchange, for the training courses from the European Solidarity Corps projects, your travel expenses, your accommodation, meals, and in case of European Solidarity Corps projects, the money for the food and money for the pocket, like the pocket money will be also paid from the European Commission. Therefore, all of these opportunities give you like a free chance to take part and to advance your professional and your personal development yourself. And the main thing of this youth exchange project, as I already mentioned, is that it gives you really, really unique chance to broaden your knowledge about different cultures, and you will meet lots of interesting people. You will have new friends. You will have new networks, and networking means a lot. Then after the project, you might through networking you might even try to do your own projects that you might be interested in. And regarding the useful links, we will also send you the presentation where you can find the sending organization list from the Georgia, then European Solidarity Corps platform where you can find the volunteering projects, as I already showed you as well, and National Erasmus Plus office in Georgia. We also have lots of useful information for you on our website. So don't forget to follow our Facebook as well and be informed on upcoming events. Or if you have any questions regarding this Erasmus opportunities, we will be more than happy first to answer the questions now, and then if you have some questions later as well. Thank you, and I will wait for questions from
Thank you very much, Georgi, for your presentation. Before we will move on to question and answer session, I would like to sum up today's event and make the last comments about them. Like you heard today, we covered the ICM, International Credit Mobility, on an institutional level. We talked about the Erasmus Mundus Joint Masters programs and youth exchange programs. The key notes that you can take from here is that for international credit mobility, you need to be involved in higher education institution in Georgia. This is a fully funded program which gives you tuition, which covers for you the tuition fee, gives you the stipend, gives you the money to cover the living expenses and reimburses you for your traveling expenses. And next thing, Erasmus Mundus Joint Masters program. It is also a fully funded program which has different sort of requirements. Different educational program has different requirements. But in order to apply to those projects, first you need to find the target educational program which is interesting for you. You need to go through the catalog and find the educational program which is the best fit for your interests. And you will be fully responsible to submit the application. In case of Erasmus Mundus Joint Masters program, you no longer need a home institution in Georgia. You will be individually responsible to develop that application and follow to the requirements which that educational program has in order to accept you as a student there. And like I mentioned, deadlines for those programs are October and January. Pay attention to that as well. And on a final stage, we also talked about the youth exchange programs and what are the difference between the various sort of youth mobility opportunities. And we'll take the questions. You can raise a hand, or you can also send the questions in the chat section if you like. Any questions? Javad, please.
Competition will be higher.
Sorry, can you repeat the questions? I could not hear you from the beginning.
As a medical student, the competition to get accepted will be higher. So are the extracurricular stuff very important? For example, like research experience and shadowing the doctor, not only my grade mark and GPA.
Like I mentioned, requirements for every mobility program differs. Even they are different even from one university to another. Generally speaking, your extracurricular activities are super important, not only in order to make you a competitive applicant in the exchange programs, but in your future endeavors as well, while you're searching for a job and so on and so forth. So as much as you can do as a professional in order to make yourself a very motivated candidate will not hurt you. Quite contrary, it can help you, and at some point it can be one of the evaluating factor for certain institutions. It generally, you can never be an extra. Try your best, and it will be considered in the evaluation process.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Next question, please. Georgi Karchiladze. Is it possible in the framework of the Erasmus Plus program to study in a specific university on a master's level? Well, not every random university can be Erasmus Mundus Joint Master's Program participant. You need to find those participating universities in the catalog, because universities, before they announce the competitions, those universities are also taking part in the competitions. Their projects are evaluated, how quality is their proposals, how good is their partnerships. So not random universities can end up in the Erasmus Mundus Joint Masters Program. In order to find a best option for you, you need to find the catalogs whether that interesting university for you is there or not. That comes to Erasmus Mundus Joint Masters Program. But if we are talking about the exchange programs, international credit mobility programs, you can make your research come to face certain promotion materials which is published by Georgian universities, that they are promoting their so to speak partnerships in social media and on their webpage with which universities they have partnerships. So you have to research whether your home university has partnership with certain target university in the European or in the program country. You can also look at their information which is published on their webpage or social media. So I hope this answers to your question at some level. Georgi? Well, your question is whether you can study in only one university or not. No, you have to study at least in 2 universities. But there could be options, several options, and you can choose between them.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that I know for sure that for the joint master's degree, you cannot. You have to take it, depending on the program. It has to be at least 2 universities, 1 year in first year in one and second year in the other. That's why they're called joint master's degrees. And also outside of this particular program, outside of joint master's degrees as well, I'm pretty certain that there is no chance to go to one university and spend the entirety of your master studies with, of course, speaking with Erasmus funding and with other fundings and with, let's say, individual efforts. Of course, you can study in the university, but not with Erasmus. I guess it would have to be either like an exchange semester or mobility semester for one semester, or a joint master's degree, which would be at least 2 universities.
Studying in several universities gives you an opportunity to experience different cultures, to understand how educational systems works in different countries, and get to know their functioning system, not only on educational level but on cultural level as well. It's an advantage. It's not a difficulty. It's an advantage, and look at this from that perspective, that it's an advantage and great privilege to be able to live in several countries on the expenses of Erasmus Plus program and gain that amazing experience. You're welcome, Georgi. Next question. Mohit.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello, how are you? I hope you are doing well. So my question is that can medical students also apply to Erasmus program like for medical field? So you can go. Is it included in that?
Yes, definitely. If your home university has partnerships, it's up to your home institution here.
Okay.
If your home institution has partnerships, then you can participate in it. Erasmus Plus program does not put the limitations on study fields. It's up to your home institution.
Okay, so like it's up to you. You are saying that my university will allow this institution from which I can get admitted to and continue my studies for Erasmus program that will be suggested by my university.
Well, opportunity should be suggested by your university. Opportunity about the international credit mobility should be published because Erasmus Plus programs are inclusive. This Erasmus Plus program gives equal opportunities to everyone to participate in it. So you probably will be able to find that information online of your home institution's Facebook or social media or webpage, or like I mentioned during my presentation, if you are not able to find that opportunity, go to the administration department or the International Integration Center and ask them that you are interested to participate in that mobility programs, and they will provide you information what mobility programs do they have, and when the competitions are announced, and when the applications are open, and what are the requirements, they will be providing that information to you.
Okay, so maximum we can study for one academic year or a semester.
Yes, in terms of international credit mobility, in order to get recognized your credits, you can study maximum one academic year. This also will be announced by the by your home institution. Your home institution may announce that this exchange program is only for one semester. So you're obliged to finish one academic year here. Then you participate in the exchange program for one semester or for one academic year, and then you should come back here in order to get your results recognized.
So I want to know that also that you said the visa process, the visa you got it valid for more than 3 months. So like if I got the opportunity to study for one academic year or one semester, then how can I be able to manage to study there? Like if my visa get expired.
3 months. I mentioned 3 months because for 3 months, if Georgian citizens are going in the European Union or Schengen area, they do not need a visa for 3 months. But even for Georgian citizens and Georgian nationals, if they are going abroad more than 3 months, then they also need a visa. So you have to pay attention. If the academic semester continues more than 3 months, it typically continues for 5 months. Everyone will definitely are gonna need to take the valid visa before they go abroad. Is that clear?
Yeah, that's clear. But I was asking, like you said, it's valid for 3 months visa, and after that, when I got admitted there for one semester or one academic year, do I have to extend my visa?
You have to do your best before you go abroad to get the valid visa long enough to stay there in the framework of legal requirements. You have to communicate with the embassy where you are getting the visa, that for what reason you need that visa, and they will take into that account.
Okay, thank you so much. It's clear now.
Okay. Next question. No more questions. Okay, I just want to mention the final thing that follow us on social media, because we are announcing the opportunities there, information about the webinars or face-to-face meetings. We are posting everything on social media, so do not miss out the opportunities which we are offering. So thank you for your time, and be very attentive when it comes to information, and pay attention what the organizations have to offer to you, like Erasmus Plus office. Pay attention what information is published by your home institution, and so on and so forth. And wish you good luck and have a good day, everyone.